how would you like to have a career that gives you a superpower? Well, becoming a programmer does just that. Today, I'm going to explain how programming is less difficult than you think and far more useful than just developing software. So, let's talk about programming. Now, programming uses languages. Now, those languages aren't that much different than English or Spanish that you and I know. It's just another way of using grammar. But instead of calling it grammar, they call it syntax. Now, in the syntax of programming, there's a few things like if statements and for each statements. Now, an if statement is quite simple. If this, then do this. Now, the simplicity of that is just like it sounds. If it's sunny outside, then put on sunblock. That's simple. That's how an if statement works. Now, a for each statement, a little different. So a for each statement is for each item in a list, then do this. So let's say you have a list of groceries. So for each item in my grocery list, I want to get that. So you get going through using your list, and you're going for each item, I pull the lettuce, I pull the tomato, and so on. And that is very simple itself. Now, there are two other things. Next one is variables. Now, a variable is like a glass. It holds an item. It's a container, all right? So, we have the glass, and we have water. So, we want to take this glass, and just like a variable, we want to put data in it, right? In a variable, you put data in it. Glass, we put water in it. So, now, this variable has data in it. Now, later on, we want to get that data out, just like sometimes later on, we want to get water out. Very refreshing. Now, you have one last thing that I'd like to discuss that scares people about programming, and that's object-oriented programming. They hear this term, and they think it's big and scary. But in reality, it's not. Now, object-oriented programming is just like it sounds, objects. So there are lots of objects. Cars, a dog is an object, a cat is an object, and then there are things about them. So all objects in object-oriented programming have attributes and they have methods. Now, an attribute is just like it sounds. It's a static thing. This is a toy mail truck, right? It's a mail truck. It's a white mail truck. The fact that it's white is that's an attribute. Now, when you want to talk about methods, methods are actions. So it's whether this can turn right or turn left or go forward or back. Those would be methods. Pretty simple, isn't it? Now, there are other things too with programming. And those are the different jobs other than doing software development. Now, other jobs include things like data analyst, marketing analyst. And those jobs, they might use something like Python or R programming language to grab data from places like, I don't know, Facebook or from Twitter to use to try and figure out how many people like this or how many people like that. And that's some of the things that they do. Now, you can also use programming just as a file clerk. Say you're working for a teacher as a clerk, and you're having a whole lot of documents that she's just given you. All those documents, let's say there's 100 documents in a folder on a computer, and you need to convert them all from Word doc to PDF. Well, if you knew a basic programming language that's on every Windows system, you could use that, and it's called PowerShell. Now with PowerShell, and Microsoft Word loaded onto that same system, you could then write a bit of code that would use Microsoft Word to go into that folder and automatically convert all 100 of those documents into PDF documents. Now, don't you think that would save you a lot of time? Can you imagine how long it would take you to do 100 of those documents by hand, opening them, and then saving as a PDF? Probably take a long time. Now that I have showed you how easy programming can be, and that it is a useful area for you to go into, and much more useful than just software development alone, I hope that it opens up programming as a career option to more of you out there.